Welcome to the Build Your Private Practice podcast, a space for Canadian therapists who want to support others, make an impact, and build a sustainable practice that works for them too. I'm your host, Liane Wood, a registered psychotherapist, group practice owner, and business mentor, and I'm here to help you build a private practice that allows you to keep doing the work you love without burning out. Because the people who need your help the most are counting on you, and you deserve a practice that supports you while you support them. Let's dive in. Hi there. This episode is brought to you by Jane Websites, an online platform that helps you build your website in minutes. If building a website has been sitting on your to-do list for a little too long, I get it. It can feel overwhelming, but Jane Websites really does make it easy, and I promise there are no tech skills required. Their AI-supported builder helps you create a professional modern site that reflects your clinic beautifully. From there, you are in control. Customize pages and easily edit or update your content anytime. And if you ever get stuck, Jane's friendly support team is there to guide you so you're never doing it alone. You can get started by heading to janewebsites.com/Liane, Liane, and don't forget to use my code BYPP1MO for a free month on your new website. Hi there, and welcome back to the Build Your Private Practice podcast. I'm your host, Liane Wood, and today we're exploring something that's becoming more important by the day: evolving your private practice beyond the traditional one-to-one therapy model. If you've been feeling burned out by a full caseload, frustrated by income that's still unpredictable, or curious about how to reach people who need help but aren't ready for therapy, then this episode is for you. Because while the one-to-one therapy model is powerful, it's not the only way to do meaningful, ethical, impactful work. We're going to look at why clients are shifting how they seek support, what that means for us as private practitioners, and how you can expand your services in a way that aligns with your values and your vision. So let's start with the data. Only 11% of Canadians accessed mental health services in the past year, and another 4% said they wanted to but didn't. So that leaves 85% of people who aren't getting support. Now, we know that doesn't mean 85% of people don't need help. It means they aren't accessing therapy in its current form. And why is that? Well, maybe it's things like cost barriers, stigma, scheduling challenges, or lack of understanding about what therapy even is. There is a gap between need and access, and as therapists, we are in a powerful position to help close that gap if we're willing to get creative. Now, don't get me wrong, one-to-one therapy is important. It changes lives. But for many therapists, it can also be exhausting. You hit a ceiling quickly with your time, your energy, and your income. Not to mention, not everyone is ready for or able to commit to traditional therapy. Some people need support that meets them where they are. And that's where diversifying your services can come in. Not because you're trying to be everything to everyone, but because you want to reduce burnout, increase access to care, create more financial stability, and serve your people in ways that actually work for them. So let's talk about what expanding beyond one-to-one therapy can actually look like in practice. Here are some service models Canadian therapists are already using to expand ethically and sustainably. Number one is workshops or webinars, and these are great for psychoeducation, for building trust, and reaching folks who aren't ready yet for therapy. Topics can include things like stress, parenting, boundaries, emotional regulation, you name it. Number two is support groups, and this is not to be confused with group therapy. Support groups can be peer-based, resource-oriented, or focused on specific experiences. Think new moms navigating anxiety or coping with chronic pain. Number three is digital products, workbooks, journaling prompts, guided meditations, self-paced courses. These create low-cost, high-access resources that still center your expertise. Number four is supervision or consulting. If you are experienced in your field, offering supervision or consulting to other therapists or allied professionals can be a fulfilling and scalable option. And number five is membership models. Some therapists are creating ongoing community spaces with monthly themes, Q&As, or resource drops. It's like therapy adjacent support in a more accessible format. Now, ethics and scope absolutely matter. So let's be clear, this is not about abandoning the therapeutic model. Anytime you offer something outside of one to one therapy, you want to be really clear on your scope of practice, how you're positioning the therapist. Or the service that is not therapy, and how you're protecting privacy and boundaries. Check your provincial guidelines and your regulatory frameworks. Discuss and document your frameworks and use disclaimers. When you do it right, these offers can complement your therapy work and not compete with it. A lot of therapists worry about things like, is this allowed? Will people think I'm not a real therapist? And what if nobody buys what I offer? Here's the truth. Yes, you can offer non therapy services if you follow your regulatory guidelines. And expanding your work doesn't make you less of a therapist. It shows you care about impact and accessibility because people are looking for accessible support. You just have to make it visible. Remember, ethical, values aligned private practice growth is part of sustainability. You're allowed to want more ease, more reach, and more income. If you're listening to this and thinking, this sounds great, but also overwhelming, here's where to start. Number one is audit your strengths. What are you passionate about outside of one to one therapy? What topics light you up? What could you talk about all day long? What do people ask you about all the time? Number two is ask your audience. Use polls or surveys to find out what your clients, your followers, or your email list would love support with. And number three is pilot something small. Host a free workshop, create a mini resource, try one thing and see how it feels. This isn't about building a digital empire overnight. It's about experimenting with aligned next steps. So let me give you a few examples from real Canadian therapists who have expanded beyond the one to one therapy model. A therapist in BC created a 4-week boundaries bootcamp for teachers and ran it as a live workshop series. She now sells the recordings as a digital product. An Ontario based psychotherapist built a resource library for folks waiting to get into therapy. It includes meditations, handouts, and short videos. A group practice owner in Alberta launched a monthly support group for parents of neurodivergent kids. It's donation based and fills a huge access gap in her community. And a social worker in New Brunswick offers supervision for new grads and created a workbook on documentation best practices. It sells passively through her website. None of them stopped being therapists. They just started serving in new, creative, sustainable ways. If you've never seen yourself as a business owner or a content creator or a group facilitator, it can feel daunting to pivot. So here are three mindset shifts that help. Number one, you don't have to do it all. You're allowed to experiment. Try one thing at a time. You can test, refine, and evolve. Number two, you don't have to be an expert. You just need to be one step ahead of the people you're supporting in that format. And number three, you don't have to choose between ethics and income. You can serve deeply and still build a business that supports your life. The market is changing. Clients' needs are evolving and therapists are burning out. The future of private practice isn't just about more clients. It's about more access, more creativity, and more sustainability. And you get to be part of that evolution. You get to build a practice that includes therapy and education and community and advocacy if that's what you want. You get to decide what your impact looks like. So if this episode lit something up in you, that spark of maybe I could do more than just one-to-one therapy, then I want to invite you to check out our Scale Your Practice program. This is our advanced program for Canadian therapists who are ready to expand their impact, their income, and reach without burning out. Inside, you'll learn how to design aligned, scalable offers that complement your clinical work. Get clear on your niche, messaging, and delivery model, and build systems that let you serve more people without working more hours. Whether you want to launch a course, offer a support group, or create passive income with digital resources, this program gives you the strategy and support to do it ethically and effectively. You can learn more online at buildyourprivatepractice.ca/scale-your-practice. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Build Your Private Practice podcast. If it got you thinking differently about what your practice could look like, I'd love for you to leave a review or share it with a fellow therapist. There are so many ways to serve, and there are so many ways to make an impact, and there is room for your creativity, your leadership, and your vision. Until next time, keep building a practice that supports your life, not just your clients. We'll talk soon. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Build Your Private Practice podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow Canadian therapist who needs this. And remember, the work you do matters. Keep showing up, keep holding space, and keep building a practice that works for you. If you're looking for practical tools or support to grow your practice with more clarity and confidence, head to buildyourprivatepractice.ca. There's lots waiting for you there. I'll see you next time.